Hi there Hot Toy fans, this is SkidsMoFlap1313 bringing you quite a special review actually. This is my 300th video, and for the 300th video I'm bringing you the Hot Toys Iron Man 2 Iron Man Mark V, aka the suitcase armour, and what an armour it is. It is awesome. So there's plenty of things on this armour. It got a lot of accessories. It looks awesome. It really does look awesome. I really do like the whole overall suit. It's a fantastic collectible, and if you do already have it or are planning on getting it, I would definitely recommend it. It's definitely one of the top for the Iron Man 2 figures. I really do like this figure, and I really like the scene where this is actually shown off. And it's also quite nice to see it in other films where, as Iron Man 3 and also the Avengers, I think it was shown, possibly, maybe not. But Iron Man 3, seeing this, pretty cool. And overall, I really enjoy this figure. It's pretty cool. You can see I've got it on the stand just to give you a bit of a 360 look at this figure. You see the back part doesn't have the flaps and all that sort of stuff, obviously because this thing probably wasn't meant to fly, although it possibly could, but maybe not from like falling from the sky or something like that. But the detailing all around, you'll probably be able to see all the black lines and everything like that on it, but it really does look awesome. I like the chest piece as well. You can see the arc reactor in there. All of the silver and red clashes really well. Nice to see a bit of a difference from the red, gold and silver. You've got this nice red and silver, which is awesome. So there we go. So let's just head on over to the accessories for this figure. Obviously at the moment he's got his fisted hands here, but I'll show you all the accessories which he comes with now. Okay, so just standing Iron Man off to the side, or the Mark V off to the side. That's pretty funny. 5 to the side. Let's just go over his accessories. So he comes with 2 stands, and obviously the normal stand which says Iron Man 2 here, and it's also got Mark V written there in the Roman numerals, with the cradle here, which is adjustable and does go up and down, although I tend not to really move it, just in case. But it comes in 2 pieces in the box, which I wouldn't say to separate again unless you're going to be reselling it, but leaving it like that, it looks pretty awesome. Even on its own, it looks pretty empty, but pretty awesome thing. And then we've also got this, which I quite like as well, which is a pretty huge stand. And basically this is part of the whole sort of gantry section, and also when they're all like lined up all together, like I showed in the unboxing, where they all sort of like connect together. But this is awesome. I haven't put the batteries in here, but it does light up, but it is a pretty bright light, and it's awesome. And also these pieces actually move here. You see they sort of move on both sides as well, so if the feet maybe are a bit big, you can sort of extend them and grasp them around the actual foot. But pretty awesome. And also up here you can see this sort of it's pretty good in the background, although you can see it like that, but if I had like a white background you'd probably be able to see, like barely see that, and which does give you some pretty cool poses when you connect it to this little grippy thing, which you can just open like this and just clasp around the figure. These are big, which does come with a bit of a cost, because some shelves might not be able to hold as many Iron Mans as you want with these sort of things, because if you look at the comparison between the two, you can see that this is a lot smaller. This piece is pretty big and takes up about half of my cabinet, so it's a bit of an annoyance to have to put this off to the side, but it is awesome to have this piece, especially if you wanted to maybe have them out in a bigger shelf, sort of all going round, which gives a pretty cool lineup. But there we go, there's that. So, moving on, it does come with a pack of instructions which are in here, and also you'll see down here, there it is, the little stick thing, which is used mostly just to move bits of the figure and take off like the chest piece and all that sort of stuff. But looking at the instructions, they're sort of it's sort of like half English, half Chinese, but it tells you all about it and what you're going to be doing with that. So you get that. You also get the suitcase, which you can see I've actually put the handcuffs on, because I believe in the actual thing. Let me just put the camera down so we can focus more on these than Iron Man. But there's the suitcase. But I believe in the actual movie, these are actually on the suitcase sort of thing, sort of holding it in place from like expanding and exploding. But this is basically the thing. He sort of throws it on the floor, and then he puts his feet into it, and he just brings it up. And it's an absolute awesome part of the film. And who knows, maybe we'll get another one. I did like it in the Avengers when that one sort of wrapped around him. It's a pretty cool effect. But there we go. Get the handcuffs there. You can sort of like hold it if you want to. And I'm guessing you could probably even take these off and get one of the hands maybe to clasp around it, something like that. But an awesome piece to have. Then you've also got my favourite pieces for any Iron Man figure, which are the articulated hands. I just find they're really awesome. And they also, when you turn the lights on, the repulsors will actually light up. So you can, if you want, if you can clasp it quite a bit, just by pushing all the fingers and all the digits as much as you can make a pretty decent sort of fist. It's not like bang on to what that is. I mean, that one is closed, and obviously this piece here was filled in, and there's no, you can't exactly light it up, but it's an awesome thing to do. You can get some pretty cool poses if you wanted to have a pinky. You could close all of these maybe and have this finger and have him to point. Like, I shoot you! You could get him to swear if you want. Although he's never done that. But it'd be pretty funny. And you get two of these for obviously the two different hands or the arms. So awesome. I like them. I just like them like that. They're pretty cool. Definitely my favourite accessories. And then moving on, we've got all the battle damaged pieces. Let's start with the first piece, which you see, if you've seen the unboxing, you've already seen this on him, but I will be showing the whole complete thing off, which is sort of the midsection to Iron Man, which, let me just come up here and show you. That little middle piece there gets replaced with that. So there's that little piece, and you can see the battle damage inside there, all the wires, the metal, all ripping here. Just looks awesome. Really awesome piece. You've also got this, which is upside down actually. I always keep thinking it should be that way, but it's this way. And you can see it's torn to bits. There's a shred in here. This bit is totally destroyed. You got sections here, scratches, dents. It's almost like, have I actually damaged this myself? No, it's the battle damage, but it's really cool. And I'll show that off when we get to his battle damage mode, but it is awesome up close. The detailing is just absolutely amazing and fantastic. Then you've also got a pretty awesome piece, which is this. And this is basically his hand, and I think this is the first hand to be totally destroyed. Basically sort of like tries to wrap the whip around him, and you can see the sort of shape going around here, but it totally destroys it. And you can see the detailing in there, the little vent things here. The blue stuff in here is actually his suit, which I think I did cover in the unboxing. That's his race suit, because this goes on over his race suit, which is pretty cool, because they could have not bothered and just given us pink skin, and you'd be like, hold on, I thought he wore this in that fight. You got a shoulder piece here, which no, it doesn't come off, and I won't try because I can see it's joined by bits of metal, but that doesn't flip around a bit just to give you a bit more articulation in terms of like moving it up and down and getting out of the way. It does have the same articulation, and it does even light up. And also you can see here he's got a sort of like grabby, almost as if he's about to grab, but you can also have this one which almost looks like a repulsor. So it sort of pegs in, and then you can have it like that. But an awesome piece there, again, battle damaged everywhere. Almost looks like a camera in there, it's pretty cool. I almost thought that certain bits of this almost look as if they could move, but no, it's just all rubbery bits and bobs, but it just looks amazing. Really, really cool. So there we go. There is the Mark V's accessories. As obviously we do have this thing, which is a massive accessory. I mean, especially if you're going to be showing it off, you want to show off your Mark V, don't you? And he does stand up pretty well. Just got to cover this. He does stand up on his own, but I would never leave him on a desk. I would always keep him on the cradle. I always think the cradles are very, very important and are a fantastic accessory. Especially, I don't know if anyone would, but especially if you wanted to have this figure maybe on your work desk or something like that. But there he is there. So let's just move on to the next part, which I'll just show off some of the articulation for him. So here we go. Okay, so on to the articulation. So obviously it's a Hot Toys figure, but I really like the articulation on Iron Man figure. On Iron Man figures, they are fantastic. Now I understand that in the actual Iron Man 3 series of Hot Toys, I'm just going to lie him down like this for now, they're actually going to be die cast, and I cannot wait to get my hands on them. I know they've come out in America and they look amazing, but I hopefully will be getting some of them for Christmas. I'm fingers crossed hopeful. If not, I will definitely be getting them myself, because can't go without an Iron Man Mark 42. No way. So the articulation, let's just go through it from top. Let's go bottom to top. So let's move his leg out slightly. So his foot down here does sort of, it moves on the joint here. It's a bit stiff because I don't really like to move them as much. If I'm going to pose them, I mostly pose their hands and just by their waist. But this piece does move. You can see it just moves slightly. Probably with a bit more force I might be able to do that, but I'm not going to take the risk. The foot is on a ball joint, so you can get a bit of pivoting out of it, like so. So you can sort of like, if you want the legs sort of split a bit, you can. Or just have them straight, you can. And I like how all these panels actually move as well. See, they just move slightly, but it's just to accommodate all that movement, which is awesome, because, you know, most figures might not do that, and this one does, which is pretty cool. Okay, moving on to the knee. The knee is pretty awesome, and I like what it does. Basically, the whole thing just bends at 2 points, though, so you get 2 points of articulation, and I like how all the panels sort of, like, they sort of dislocate from each other, but when you put it back, they sort of fix themselves, and then he becomes the whole suit. So if I'm posing him, I like to just keep the leg like that, but it's nice to have that bit of posing, and then that extra bit of posing on the leg. Obviously coming to the waist here, see the legs do go back and forth. Now the waist part here in the crotch area is all sort of rubber, which is understandable for obvious reasons. You know, if you want to move it, especially with this piece here, you don't exactly want it to cause any plastic damage or any scratching, so you've got that movement there, you've got the in and out there, so you can get some decent poses out of his out of the rubber pants legs if you want to. So let's just stand him up for now, because I don't really want him to fall over when I go through the waist articulation. Let's just lift the camera up. In fact, let me just get my box, and let's just go up higher. There we go, that's nice. Right, so we're on the waist now. Okay, so obviously normal waist articulation goes, you got the left and right thing here. You see that flap sort of moving? You can go forward and back with this piece still attached. And even the back section moves slightly, I can feel it. I'll just spin it around to show you the back section while it moves. So moving it back and forth. This piece here is the most movable piece, but these two pieces here sort of don't allow for any more back movement. But what you can do, so if I spin it around again, if you give it a pull, so just pull from maybe holding down here and then from up here, and just give it a sort of pull upwards, or not. Let me just take that off for now. There we go. So you just heard that click, and now you'll probably be able to see that difference there, which adds extra sort of movability. You get a bit more wiggly moves, so you can sort of do a bit of a dance like la 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 la, back and forth. Pretty cool. And then when you want to finish with that, you can just sort of push it back down. I'm trying to be careful with it. And then that just goes back to how it is. But it's nice how they added them in, and that's just with the... It sort of has gone on to the new figures as well, which is pretty cool because it allows for extra articulation when it comes to the Iron Man figure. And then let's move over to the arm. Just lift this up a smidgen, hoping that it doesn't do anything. And let's just turn this. So, let's start from bottom to top again. So the bottom part, this piece actually moves to accommodate the ball joint in here, because the ball joint does sort of move. Let's just spin it around again just so you can see that moving. You can see that sort of moving around on that ball joint. Then what you might be actually able to see there is a crease. And I was actually rather annoyed when I I posed him so he sort of looked as if one hand was sort of bent and the other one was sort of repulsed like that. And it made that crease, so hopefully if I leave it like that, it might go back. I might have to use a stick and possibly try and push the rubber back in. But it does feel like some of the something inside is sort of holding it in that position. So hopefully over time that might fix itself, because the other one actually has. So fingers crossed. Because I'm not posing it. It's just going to be normal pose from now on. So you've also got the ball joint, which obviously for a ball joint you're going to have a lot of articulation, and you'll also see on the chest area, if I just move this up again slightly, you see the chest area just here. This sort of moves as well, and you can see I can push this in, and the panel actually goes inward and covers the other panel over while squishing that down. And that's pretty cool, because you can like come to this part and it'll push it back in for you, so you've got more room to spin the whole thing round. So you've got a whole ball joint, you've got the sort of swivel there, and you can see the shoulder pad is working there pretty nicely to sort of like stop it from getting scratched and dented and all that sort of stuff. So some pretty awesome articulation there in terms of arms. And then let's just go up a little bit. Actually, I'm going to take him off again because I can probably do the head from here. Yeah, there we go. So from the side, there's his head. So say hello, hello. So you can see here he's got a ball joint, a full ball joint all the way round. You probably could even pull it. You could always pull it off as well. You can see there at the bottom that can turn as well, and gives a little bit more of an extra ball joint. So you can get that and then that upwards. So he's not going to do sort of a flight look, but he is going to get a pretty cool pose looking round. You can get him to go the other way if you want. But you got some really cool articulation there. But in terms of articulation, that is it. But we've got a bunch of it, and you can get some awesome poses out of this guy. There would, if there was any flaps, there probably would have been articulation at the back, but because there is no flaps, you don't have that. I can't think of any more articulation other than that, but it's a load, an absolute ton. So let's just go on to changing all the bits over. So because we've got the articulated hands, you can also take off the fisted hands and replace them with these. So just to do that, you just gotta get the fist and give them a pull. And what I like about, well, I say what I like, but what could be something that I might regret is that there's no extra ball joint, and I can understand why there isn't, because obviously that is from the lighting area. But because there's no ball joint, what happens if maybe this pulls out the ball joint? You're left with one hand missing. But there you go, there's the fisted hand a bit up close. Proper fisted, you know, this is covered in, no repulsor will be able to get through there. But you can take both of the fists off if you want to, just by bending that slightly. And the flap allows you to sort of grab the top and the bottom of the fist in order to take them off. And then replace them. Oh my god! There we go. With the repulsor. Wow, that was a struggle. And oh, that's another bit of articulation. The actual thing on the ball joint, the actual the wrist guard sort of thing will actually twist with it. So if you wanted to put it up, the wrist guard will allow you to turn it rather than keeping it like that. So pretty awesome there. Let's just put that to normal before it starts having a go at me and starts warping again. So let's just turn those out for a sec. So in terms of like replaceable parts, that's it in terms of the clean version. Now he does have a the battle damage version, obviously, with all that, but for now I'm just going to show you the lighting. Now, just to show you quickly before I show you that with the lights off. So let's just move the hand. So you'll see on both hands, you'll see two tabs. Let's just go in a bit closer. You see two tabs just hanging out on his arms. You'll also be able to see the two little switches, one here, one here. There is a tab just here, I'm flicking it there, and there's one just under its neck which you need to pull out, just in case you're wondering where the tabs are in order to get that working. But I'm just going to turn all of those lights on so you can see how bright this figure actually is, because it's pretty awesome. And obviously you can see I've left all the tabs in because I don't exactly want these lights always on and able to do their bit, because I know that some batteries can leak and I don't really want that with this thing, because it is an amazing figure. So give me a second and I will just get this thing lit up. Okay, so there we go, and he's all brightly lit up. He's fantastic. I mean, the lighting is amazing, especially for LEDs. I mean, you think LEDs are now in torches nowadays and they are bright. I mean, this thing is almost blinding me. This one especially right here, you can see on the camera, it's just shining so much. But you can see the hands are lighting up there, the head, but it just adds so much to the figure just to have that lit up. And it's a shame to actually have to stop him from being lit up, but if you really want the figure to last, you can't really keep lighting them up. I mean, I know that some people have actually made bases where you can like line them up with all these cables, and they just from a plug, and it works. It's just really ideal. Who knows, maybe Iron Men in the future, they might have plugs that go into the back. I know it sounds stupid, but if they were on display maybe as the Hall of Armour, and you had them, you know, all plugged in, lit up, you know, and all you have to do is just take the plastic out, change the LED, and off you go. You've got them again, rather than changing batteries over batteries over batteries. But I really like this, and it's definitely an awesome thing to have, and it's almost as if you want to use it as a torch, especially this light, but it just brings a lot more detail to the whole figure. But there we go. So let's move on to the battle damage stuff, which I'll get to right now. Now, in terms of the battle damage mode, there's 3 pieces, and it only covers a certain percentage of his actual form, or his actual figure. But it does a pretty awesome job. So let's get him all prepared. So let's move his arms back so we can get access to this piece, which, if you've seen in the unboxing, I've already taken off as I had to try and find the flipping thing. So that just slides off, and then it leaves that. So let's just put that to the side. Then what you want to do is get your fingers sort of under the sides of these 2 pieces, and they sort of clip in. So you can take that off. You can just see how shiny this is. Look at it, it's so shiny. It's so shiny, like, woohoo, shiny. So you can take that off, and you can see right underneath. Look at the detail. Just have a look at that. I mean, look at it. If you could. But fantastic. You can see all the workings inside. The actual the movie itself only shows you so much, but this is pretty awesome. And then what you want to do is also just pull his left arm, or our right, off. I'm just going to do this off camera because I'd rather focus on pulling it out correctly. That's okay. Okie dokie. So we now have Tony Stark with only one arm. Yeah, it's a good image, Tony. So let's just peg this back in. So you just pop it back in. This thing I think just sort of stops it from rubbing as it's rubber, so when it goes in it sort of squishes against the side and then allows for that sort of solid articulation. So just give that a bit of a push, so then that goes in. That's a very, very tight joint. So you got that piece. Then let's put this piece on. So sort of just bend that slightly. Don't have to do it a lot, just slightly, in order to clasp around the figure. And you'll sort of feel it click in. There you go, there's one. And there's two. And you can see that has got a bit of battle damage to it. And then the last piece, which just goes right on here. Just give it a bit of a push into place, make sure it's in. There we go, and there is the battle damage state of the Mark V. And it does look pretty awesome. I like the sort of majority of it, but this sort of seems like the half battle damage version. I feel like there should be a secondary one. Maybe it's all dirty over, you know, it's this sort of colour rather than shiny, because the other arm got damaged, the whole section down here got damaged, I think even the legs probably got damaged, the head I think got damaged as well. The armour was just literally flaking off of him. It was pretty ridiculous, but this is awesome. A really cool figure. Let's just show you this, because this actually lights up, and the switch is in the same place as the other two arms, just here. And there you go, there's the sort of repulsor hand there. And because we also have this as well, if we just give this a wiggle, and there's also a damaged hand panel. Oh, there you go, see? You can see in there, whoa, that is bright! Holy moly. And then let's just peg that in. This is one thing about this figure, or most Hot Toys figures, is that the ball joints are very, very tough, and that's brilliant, especially for the price you pay. Look at that thing though. It's just awesome. It's like he wants you to high-five him. But it's just an amazing look just to have that even lighting up. So you can just take that off. And I will just take that off for now. You can sort of like twist it off if you want, just sort of like pop it off to the side and it'll sort of like slide off itself. Most of the hands are all rubberized, so you can get them off pretty easily. But he does look awesome in this sort of state. I'm saying the word state because it is a bit of a state. But yeah, there we go. So let's just move on to my final conclusion of the actual figure. So there we are, he's back in his normal look. And that's how I'm going to just display him from now on. But there we go. I would definitely say if you can get this guy, or if you already have it, you've got a brilliant figure. It is fantastic, and it really is nice to have it on display. You got a lot of accessories which are very unique to the whole figure, especially the suitcase with the handcuffs and everything like that. But overall, what a fantastic figure to do for 300 videos. I mean, an absolute joy to be able, and a privilege actually, to be able to review this thing, because it is an absolute beauty. But there we go, guys. So if you have enjoyed this review of this figure, which has probably been quite a long review, but you want an in-depth review, you've got to go to the right places. I've definitely enjoyed having a look at this figure and having a look at all the different modes, the articulation, everything like that. I will love this figure for the rest of my life. It's brilliant, absolutely fantastic. But if you have enjoyed, hit that subscribe button, because I will be trying to make sure to get more Hot Toys figures soon. There are a few big ones which I really, really want to get, hopefully as soon as possible when they come out. You can also comment down below what you thought of this review. Anything maybe you want me to do for next time, any changes, anything like that, what you actually think of this figure, do you actually have it? And also rate the video so I know you're enjoying this actual video of this figure, because it's just a fantastic figure. So there we go, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Thank you very much. 300 videos. Fantastic achievement. I'll see you then. Thank you and goodbye.